Kabir was the great poet, saint, and weaver of medieval India. A God-intoxicated man, his teaching words and poems have become the best known and oft recited of any throughout all of India. According to legend, Kabir was born of a virgin from a Muslim mother. He grew up in the community of the Julahas, or the weaving caste of the great city of Benaras. As he matured, he showed strong spiritual tendencies, and he sought as his guru the great Hindu Brahmin teacher Ramanand. Kabir knew that Ramanand would not give initiation to him, a Muslim. He also knew that every morning before dawn, Ramanand would descend the stone steps of the Ghats to bathe in the holy river Ganges. So Kabir lay down on these steps in the dark and was trod upon by Ramanand, who exclaimed, "Ram," a name of God. Kabir took this as his initiation, the name of God from the lips of his guru. Like the Buddha, like Jesus, Kabir judged a man by his realization and love, not by his caste or wealth. When both Hindus and Muslims claimed him as their own, he stood free of both. Kabir disdained the show of pundits and Brahmins, of mullahs and royalty. He criticized the false mummery of the sadhus, ascetics, and fakirs, both Hindu and Muslim. He called them the thugs of Benaras. The yogi dyes his garments instead of dyeing his mind in the colors of love. He sits within the temple of the Lord, leaving the all-pervading to worship a stone. He pierces holes in his ears. He has a great beard and matted locks. He looks like a goat. He goes forth into the wilderness, killing all his desires, and turns himself into a eunuch. He reads the Gita and becomes a mighty talker. Kabir says, "You are going to the doors of death, bound hand and foot." Kabir did not hesitate to criticize the priestly classes, both Hindu and Muslim, and they developed a strong disdain for him. Even in Benaras, he questioned the sanctity of the holy river Ganges. Kabir said, "If bathing in its holy waters ensures salvation, then every fish is in heaven." For a great while, the king of Benaras had wanted Kabir to come and see his grand home, which stands even today on the other side of the Ganges. When Kabir had finally come across the river and been given a tour of the vast palace, the king asked him his opinion of what he had seen. Kabir said that there were two defects which could not be remedied. "What are they?" said the king. "I will have them fixed no matter what the cost." "You cannot remedy them," said Kabir. "One is that this palace will grow old and decay. The second is that you will grow old and die." During the life of Kabir, India was ruled by Muslims. The Emperor Sikandar Lodi came to Benaras and, hearing about Kabir, requested of the local Hindu king to bring him for an audience. Although Kabir did not wish to go, the king begged him for his own sake. Kabir consented and appeared before the Muslim emperor. Upon being presented, Kabir gave a greeting that one common man would give to another, looking the emperor directly in the eyes. And Sikandar Lodi grew angry. "Have you no respect for your emperor?" he thundered. He instructed his guards to bind Kabir in chains and to throw him into the river. As soon as he touched the Ganges, his chains burst, and he floated upon the waters in meditation. Some stories say that the emperor then had him burned in fire and tried to get an elephant to trample him. In each instance, Kabir survived untouched. Finally, the emperor, realizing that Kabir was a true holy man and protected by God, threw himself on the ground and begged forgiveness. What is the point of putting bricks and stones together to raise a minaret for the mullah to shout the call for prayer? Has God become hard of hearing? And why bother about the mighty, the famous, or the rich? They are no better than the date palm, which casts a very small shade for the weary traveler, and its fruit is far beyond reach. Kabir left Benaras and traveled throughout India for many years. In Gujarat, he met the two brothers Tattva and Jiva, who were observing a severe spiritual penance. In their courtyard was the shriveled branch of a banyan tree. They claimed that they would accept as their guru only that person who could restore that branch to life. After all, that would be a minor miracle for one who could lead the way to God. Kabir visited their village and uprooted that branch, blessing it with a lush and lively growth of leaves, and then replanted it. That replanted branch became a banyan tree and is known today as Kabir Vad. Looked after by the government of Gujarat, this single tree now fills over 3 acres. My friend, hope for the guest while you are alive. Jump into experience while you are alive. Think and think while you are alive. If you don't break your ropes while you're alive, do you think ghosts will do it after you die? The idea that the soul will join with the ecstatic just because the body is rotten, that is all fantasy. What is found now is found then. If you find nothing now, you will simply end up with an apartment in the city of death. But if you make love with the divine now, in the next life you will have the face of satisfied desire. So plunge into the truth. Find out who the great teacher is. Kabir says this: when the guest is being searched for, it is the intensity of the longing for the guest that does all the work. Look at me, and you will see a slave of that intensity.